most people think about buying a home in Los Angeles, they only think about one thing, the down payment. And you'll hear, you don't need 20% down anymore. So buyers hear that and they think that they're ready. But what I see time and time again is that people get deep in the process and realize that they need way more money than what they actually planned for. LA already feels expensive and overwhelming, and underestimating this part can make you want to panic mid-process or give up the home buying process altogether and go spend that money on a car, vacation, clothes, whatever that might be. But in today's video, I'm going to help you avoid that by going over how much it really costs to buy a home in Los Angeles in 2026, where all that money goes, and how to plan accordingly without guessing. So I think the biggest misconception is that most buyers just fixate on the down payment. You know, you hear it all the time. You need a down payment to be able to purchase a home. It is such a large amount of money that is what you focus on. But having that mindset is almost like if you go to a store and you want to buy something that's $10 and you hand the cashier $10 and he's like, well, you still got to pay for taxes. The down payment is still a big portion of the cost, but it is not the full cost. And I think where a lot of people trying to purchase a home get caught up is either one or two sections. Either they get too deep in it and they meet with a lender or an agent, or maybe even get in the process and realize they don't have enough money, or they just never start at all because they don't think they have enough money, and they probably do, which, you know, I don't think either way is wrong. You know, I think both people have the mindset that they want to buy a home, but they're just missing a few pieces. What really matters is understanding cash to close and what happens right after the close, so this purchase of buying a new home doesn't feel stressful. So I'm going to go over this and put this all into 4 different buckets. So once you look at it this way, hopefully this becomes a little bit more manageable for you when you're thinking about buying a home in LA. So we're going to start with the first bucket, which is the down payment. And I'm going to use a pricing example because I would feel that most people are probably going to be buying a home, we'll say between $700,000 to $1 million for this example. So if we look here, you'll see that for an FHA loans are usually, 3.5% down. These are government-backed loans that allow you to be able to go that low. Conventional, it will say, depending on your credit score, it can be anywhere between 5 to 10%. And a VA loan is, if you are a veteran, if there's any veterans watching this, thank you for your service, you're able to put down 0%. So how that actually looks when you put in real numbers. So if a home is $750,000, 3.5% is about $26,000, 5% is $37,500, and 10% down is $75,000. So you actually don't need 20%, as we had talked about before, but this is only one bucket. So there is going to be some more money coming into this. So now let's go ahead and look over into bucket number 2. So this next bucket, it would be the closing costs. So we'll say in Los Angeles, closing costs typically can be around, we'll say 1.5 to 2.5% of the purchase, right? So it's all going to depend on the loan and how, the whole deal is structured. So this is not a blanket thing. You definitely need to speak with your lender to be able to understand more of this. I'm a real estate agent going over this at a very high level just to help you guys understand the costs. As you see here, bucket includes different things like lender fees, escrow and title, appraisal, prepaid taxes and insurance. So if we're using the example of a $750,000 home, the closing costs could be anywhere from $12,000 to $18,000. And if you really want to be safe with that, say $20,000, could be anywhere between there. So this money does not go toward the house, but it is definitely something that you need when you are trying to close on a home. Now, this next bucket is what I call the before you close bucket. So these are different costs that you pay during escrow, but not at the very end. So these costs, as you can see here, we'll start with the home inspection. This can be anywhere from $400 to $700, maybe a little bit more. Say you do another roof inspection, septic, maybe there's something else in particular outside of the general inspection that you would like to get. This maybe costs a little bit more, but as far as this number here would just be a general inspection. Next would be the appraisal. Your lender will send someone out to appraise the home to make sure that the home is actually worth what you are getting a loan for. And this cost can be anywhere from $600 to $800. Earnest money deposit. This is essentially part of your down payment. This can be anywhere from 1 to 3% depending how aggressive you want to get and how much you like that home. But this is money that you're putting into escrow to really show that seller that you really want this home, and you were putting down 1-3% to show them that you're putting this down. At the end, this will all go toward your down payment, but this is definitely another bucket to consider. Now, the last bucket is one I don't think buyers think about enough. You think so much about that down payment that once that money is gone, you're like, where, like your bank account is gonna be empty. I remember when I was buying my house and I put all my money in there and I had a few $1,000s left, not really a saving, and I'm just like, I own a house, but if anything goes down, oh no. So this bucket is what I like to call the post-closing buffer. And if you look here, this is what I would say smart buyers plan for. You know, not everyone does this, but definitely something I think that would make you feel more warm and fuzzy inside if you had just a little bit of this saved for, or maybe things that you have planned for. So in this bucket, you have a few months reserves. Maybe you feel comfortable with 1 month. Maybe you have a few other months. Definitely something that you want to have in the reserves after this post-close. Minor repairs or updates. So if you go through the inspection process and that seller is not fixing certain things, or maybe you're like, hey, I want this house, don't worry about it, seller, I'll fix it later. Or maybe you're going to be doing a remodel to the kitchen, bathroom, whatever it is. You want to take that into consideration. Moving costs, you're going to need, whether you're putting all this in your truck or your car, or you're selling everything and buying all new things, you're going to think about the moving truck to get you from point A from point B. I moved from Marina del Rey to San Pedro. They charge you for the distance of how much you need to move to be able to get there, and things might break. You may need to buy new things for your house. Maybe it's a bigger house. You may need to buy some new items. So definitely a cost to think about. And furniture. I mean, kind of to what I was saying before, you envision when you walked into this house, a beautiful sectional to put in this common area. You finally get your king size bed. That costs money. So definitely some costs that you are going to want to think about. I mean, this could be anywhere from, $2,000 to $20,000. So definitely something that you want to budget out ahead of time before you decide to move forward. So now that we've talked about each of these 4 buckets, let's put some real numbers. I'm actually going to include the monthly cost too, because I believe that's something that you need to think about when you are trying to buy a home, how much you can afford monthly. So we're looking at this in our first example. Say you have a house, you're buying a house that's $750,000. You're able to put 5% down. Your down payment's going to be around $37,500. Your closing costs could be around $15,000. And once again, these are all just estimates. Your inspection upfront costs can be anywhere around $3,000. Your post-closing buffer could be $10,000. We'll say $5,000 to $10,000. So total cash would need to be around, say, $60,000 to $70,000 around there. So we'll say $65,000. Then we don't want to forget about the monthly payment. So this monthly payment will include your principal, your interest, your property taxes, your insurance, HOA if you have an HOA, and your monthly mortgage insurance, because you're putting 5% down. That's less than 20%. So you will have to pay that PMI. So that could fall around $4,800 to $5,000 per month. Now let's move this example up to $1 million, which is a little bit more realistic for someone trying to purchase a house, especially here in San Pedro. Body around, can you find a house for $1 million? If you're in Santa Monica, good luck finding a house for $1 million. But like Long Beach, San Pedro, more inland areas of LA, this is more possible. So let's go ahead and look at an example here. So if you're buying a house at $1 million, you're putting 10% down. Your down payment could be $100,000, or would be $100,000. It's math. It's not going to be, could be. Costs are going to be $20,000. Your inspections and upfront costs are going to be roughly around $4,000, and your post-closing buffer could be, say, $15,000 or more. So that total cash needed to purchase this home could be around $135,000 to $150,000. Now let's go ahead and look at the monthly payment, how much you're going to be paying per month based off these numbers. So including your principal, insurance, property taxes, HOA if you have one, your mortgage insurance because you're putting, once again, less than 20% down, A $1 million home could cost you between $6,200 to $6,800. And now I just want to give you one more example. I know that is a lot. It seems like a lot of money. That's just one example. Let's look at another one, and maybe this could fit more of your budget. So we saw what 5% would be. We saw what 10%. Let's look at 3.5% down to see how much money you would need to have for cash to close and what your monthly payment would look like. So we'll go back to our example. At 3.5% for a $750,000 home, that's $26,000 for a down payment. Your closing costs are going to be anywhere between $12,000 to $18,000. For inspections, upfront costs, roughly around $3,000. Your post-closing buffer, so like I said, anything that you're going to need after the close, whether it's moving costs, furniture, repairs, whatnot, could be anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000. Now let's look at the monthly payment. So the monthly payment for a $750,000 home with 3.5% down, and as I said in the last one, this is including principal, interest, property taxes, insurance, maybe an HOA, PMI, because you're less than 20% down, is going to be usually around the low to mid, 5,000s. It could be slightly higher or lower if you choose the 5% down option. So once you see these numbers like this, you may be like, damn, that is a lot of money. What can I do to help these costs? So let's go ahead and talk about that. Now, this next part is really where strategy matters more than chasing the lowest down payments. And there's a few ways to help with this cost. So one way could be, this all depends, work with your agent on this. This all depends on a few different things. Maybe, you're offering more on the home. Maybe this house has been sitting for a while. Really talk to your agent to figure this one out, but getting some credits to help with the closing cost. This can help obviously with a lot of that upfront cost that you are putting in to purchase the home. Another one could be just different loan programs out there, whether it's CalHFA, maybe your city has a different program to be able to help with some of the down payment or the closing cost. So definitely check that out, and I'll put some links below to the CalHFA site and to some other ones that may be available here in Los Angeles. You could also do different rate buy down programs to help with your monthly costs. So maybe you're getting credits back to do a 2-1 rate buy down, where you're starting off with a lower monthly payment, and then it kind of goes back up over maybe a year, 2 years, or 3 years. Or maybe that's just using some credits to be able to buy the rate down completely. So definitely there are a few different options that I have named, and maybe more that you work with your agent on and they're able to help out with. Definitely think that you discuss with your agent the best options for you, whether that is for your down payment, your closing costs, or your monthly payment. So I think putting it in these 4 different buckets can give you more clarity no matter what stage you're at. So if you're trying to plan, you can kind of just do more math and just better planning, accurate planning on how much money you need, or maybe you have enough money and you're just not feeling comfortable about moving forward or about meeting with an agent because you just don't think that you're ready yet. It gives you more clarity to be able to reach out with someone, maybe speak to a lender, or maybe just get your home buying process more serious. And this clarity allows you to be able to potentially want to move forward. So the biggest takeaway here is that most buyers don't need to guess, they just need a clear plan. And the biggest mistake is trying to do this alone, when a 15-minute conversation with your lender or with a real estate agent to plan can save you months of stress. I think every situation is different, but getting clarity is all the same, and the more clarity you have, the more just warm and fuzzy you're going to feel about moving forward with this process. So if you're actively trying to purchase a home right now and have questions, please feel free to drop those questions below. They'll help you answer those, and if I don't know them, I will reach out to a lender and be able to have them answer those questions as well to give you as much clarity as we can. If you are thinking about purchasing a home in San Pedro or whether in LA, I would love to help you plan out that process. You call me here, text me. I have a calendar link that you can set some time aside to be able to just go over your goals, go over these 4 buckets, and really plan out where you're trying to get to when it comes to purchasing a home here in 2026. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope this helps anyone and gives clarity to those who are in the situation, who have been either down the road of trying to purchase a home and realize they weren't ready, or just on the fence because they don't think they're ready. And I hope this gave you more clarity to be able to move forward. So thank you once again, and until the next video, until the next tour, until the next guide, until the next overview as this, I'll see you guys. Take care. Ciao.